So when we think about the foundation of any strong society, the first thing that often comes to mind is basically family. And that's exactly what Imam Ali emphasizes in Hikmat 14. He highlights how the support of family and those closest to us plays, a crucial role in creating a robust and resilient community. It's not just sentimental, it's strategic. Imam Ali says, and I'm paraphrasing here, when those near to someone fail to support them, they're left depending on strangers. Now think about it. If you're not able to trust your own circle, the people who are supposed to have your back, it forces you to seek help from others who, may not share the same sense of loyalty or understanding. And that's a vulnerable position to be in. Well, we can actually see this idea playing out in everyday life. Imagine someone going through financial hardship. If their family or close friends can't or don't step in, they end up turning to, loans or external support, maybe even people they barely know. And honestly, that can come with its own risks. Things like debt, strings attached, or even, trust being broken. What makes this teaching so profound is how it applies universally, beyond just individual relationships. In Islamic history, for instance, there are numerous examples of communities rallying together. One that stands out is the alliance forged during the formation of Medina as the first Islamic state. The Ansar, or helpers, warmly welcomed the Prophet Muhammad and the Muhajirin, those who'd immigrated from Mecca. This was solidarity at its finest, sharing homes, resources and trust. Without that cooperation, the community wouldn't have survived, let alone thrived. This connects to a broader truth. When we prioritise supporting the people closest to us, those strong bonds ripple outward. They create a sense of stability that strengthens not just our private lives, but the larger social fabric. It's like throwing a stone into water. Those inner circles create ripples that spread far and wide. And really, isn't that what Imam Ali envisioned? A society where cooperation at the smallest levels feeds into a much stronger whole. The absence of cooperation within a society, it doesn't just hurt individuals, it erodes the very fabric of the community. When support systems break down, whether it's between friends, families, or even neighbours, what we're left with is a society that's, kind of fragile. Imam Ali's teachings hit this point head on, reminding us just how essential those bonds really are. Now let's think about that for a moment. When solidarity is missing, what happens? You get division. Small cracks turn into gaping fractures. Take modern urban areas, for instance, places where people often don't even know their next-door neighbours. Without those connections, trust diminishes, right? And slowly but surely, isolation creeps in. People become more, let's say, disconnected from each other than they probably should be. And here's the thing, these aren't just abstract problems. History shows us what happens when cooperation falters. Think about any community torn apart by internal strife or distrust. Maybe it's conflicts within a workforce or even political fragmentation. A lack of solidarity tends to magnify existing problems. And when people can't depend on each other, they're left to fend for themselves, which weakens the group as a whole. It's almost a domino effect. But it's not all doom and gloom because there are stories of communities that thrive when solidarity is prioritised. One powerful example is modern disaster relief efforts, where neighbourhoods come together to support one another in emergencies. Groups like volunteer organisations or even just neighbours checking in during, say, natural disasters. It's proof that cooperation can really, turn things around. What's incredible about such examples is how close they feel to what Imam Ali was advocating. He wasn't just talking about quick fixes, he was envisioning deeply rooted structures of support, ones that could weather crises and last generations. In a way, these modern movements are testaments to the enduring relevance of his wisdom. And really, when you think about it, the strength of any community boils down to how much its members are willing to lean on and lift up one another. Now let's dive into the ethical side of lending a hand to those closest to us, which Imam Ali's teachings stress quite firmly. It's not just about doing the right thing, it's about creating a sense of responsibility that strengthens the bonds within a community. Something as simple as helping a sibling, a parent, or even a close friend. It really goes a long way toward building trust and showing that, hey, we're all in this together. The reality is, when we ignore the needs of our family and close friends, it often pushes them into situations where they have to rely on outsiders. And that, realistically, can put them at a disadvantage. Whether it's financial help, emotional support, or just showing up, what we do, or don't do, directly affects their well-being, and by extension, the larger social landscape. And here's the thing. Islam places a huge emphasis on prioritizing your immediate network. There's this idea, right, that charity starts at home. From an Islamic perspective, helping those in our inner circle doesn't just make ethical sense. It's actually seen as a form of worship. It echoes what Imam Ali stood for, where taking care of those around us encourages unity and prevents unnecessary dependencies on strangers. One powerful example of this comes in the form of community-driven Islamic initiatives. Take zakat, the mandatory alms giving, for instance. It's a mechanism that prioritizes uplifting neighbors and family members before extending outward. And if you look at projects like local food banks or community funds within Muslim communities, that same spirit is alive today, solving real-world challenges by focusing close to home first. But this lesson isn't limited to religion. It resonates on a human level. When we help someone we know, we're not just improving their lives, we're investing in a relationship, a bond that can pay forward and, in many ways, come full circle. I mean, think about it. If we all took care of our own small circles, how much positivity would radiate outward? Ultimately, this sense of responsibility, this ethical obligation to help others, acts as the glue that holds communities together. Imam Ali's wisdom reminds us that the ripple effects of our actions aren't just theoretical, they're very real. So as we wrap up today's discussion, take a moment to think about the people in your circle. Where can you show more support, build stronger ties, and, well, create those ripples? And that's all for today. Imam Ali's insights offer so much wisdom, and it's been fascinating to explore how his teachings on solidarity are as relevant now as ever. Thank you for joining me, and until next time, take care and stay thoughtful.